Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make tofu fried rice. But before we do that, I'm also going to show you how to make one of my favorite Korean dishes, 간장 or palace tteokbokki. Do me a favor, if you haven't already subscribed to The Korean Vegan, let's go ahead and fix that. So when you hear tteokbokki, you may think of that really spicy dish, but this is not a spicy one. This is actually made with soy sauce, but you're going to use the same white tubular shaped tteokbokki. You're going to marinate those first in some sesame oil and a little bit of cracked black pepper, and that's just going to make them really, really soft. I love to add a lot of beautiful veggies. I think that's one of the reasons it's called palace tteokbokki, because in Korea during the olden days, palace food was as much about presentation and how beautiful the food looked as well as how good it tasted. This particular dish tastes wonderful, but it also looks gorgeous. You can see that we're julienning a bunch of bell peppers, a little bit of red onion, and we're going to put that into our really kind of deep wok-like pan. This is one of my favorite pans. So we're just adding all of our vegetables here and getting those nice and cooked. Afterwards, you're going to add the marinated rice cakes. I know that spicy version of tteokbokki is very, very popular, but to be honest, I prefer this version mostly because I love the sauce, which starts with some soy sauce and then a little bit of sweetener. Here, I'm using maple syrup, but you could also use brown sugar, regular sugar, or even agave, whatever sweetener you like. Next, we're gonna add just a little bit of water, and that's gonna help our rice cakes get super soft and tender. Mine were frozen, so they're really, really hard, but even if you buy fresh tteok or rice cakes, you're still going to want to add a little bit of water to help soften them. You can see there I added just a bit more soy sauce. I encourage you to taste the sauce, especially when it's reduced down a little bit, to see if you need to add a little bit more soy sauce or more sweetener. And then of course, the piece de resistance, you're going to add some sesame oil and a lot of sesame seeds. Keep in mind, this entire recipe is gluten-free except for the soy sauce. Just make sure to use your favorite brand of gluten-free soy sauce. For more on that, check out the Pantry Staples video that I did. So I made this recipe the other day and it was so good, and my entire house smelled like my mother's kitchen. My mom makes this dish for me all the time when I come over because it's so easy and she knows that I love it. So there you have it, 간장 or palace tteokbokki. Next up, we're gonna try making some tofu fried rice.
So good.
I ordered tofu fried rice the other day from a local restaurant. This is what we got. I think we can do better. So can you feel my rage? Honestly, nothing upsets me more than when I pay like $25 for a dish and it's clear that the people I paid money to did not put in pretty much any effort into creating that dish. So I was inspired by my rage to make my own version. And we're going to start with a little bit of garlic, of course, as well as some chopped up mushrooms. You can use whatever mushrooms you want. Shiitake, cremini, portobello, whatever mushrooms you have lying around. I'm using some fresh corn here because it was in season, but of course you can use canned or frozen corn, whatever makes this easier. I love adding carrots because they add a bit of natural sweetness as well as a ton of crunch and color. I'm also going to add some broccolini. Again, just use regular broccoli if that's all you got. And yes, those flowers are edible. I know my YouTube fam is going to be like, are you going to be able to eat those flowers? I have some zucchini. This is a Korean zucchini or hobak. You can tell just by how fluorescent yellow the inside is. But again, if you don't have Korean zucchini, you can use just regular old zucchini. If you don't have zucchini at all, because sometimes it's not in season and it kind of tastes bad, just skip the zucchini. You can sort of tell there really isn't a specific formula when it comes to ingredients for your fried rice. I'm using some scallions here, but you could also just use regular onions. Whatever you have kind of lying around in your pantry or in your refrigerator, that's all good. Whatever you like to eat in your fried rice, that's all good. A really good fried rice, I think, is more about methodology and less about which ingredients you use. I think one of the reasons I was so disappointed by that restaurant's fried rice was because there was just tofu and rice and some sad looking asparagus on top. So we're gonna start with some oil. I'm using extra virgin olive oil, but you could also use vegetable oil. And then we're adding to it the rice. This rice is day old. It's been sitting around in my rice cooker for 24 hours. And we're gonna add that first to some really, really hot oil and get that, well, fried. The reason we're adding day old rice is because we want a rice that's a little bit dried out, that doesn't have too much moisture in it. We wanna create some texture. And you can tell, look at that rice. It's crackling and blistering. That's texture. So now that we've achieved some texture on our rice, we're gonna put that aside and we're going to start frying up our vegetables. This is a tofu fried rice, and so we're gonna add some tofu. I just had some mashed up tofu left over from when I made the tofu cakes out of my cookbook. You can just use fresh tofu, and it can be mashed up, it can be diced, it can be chopped up. However you like to eat your tofu is fine, but we do wanna add that now. Next, we're gonna add our carrots, as well as our broccolini. Oh my gosh, look at how gorgeous that looks. I had these spring peas that I picked up from the local farmer's market, and they were just too beautiful to not use, so I'm throwing those in as well. And you can see from my pan, we are starting to create an absolutely beautiful canvas for our fried rice. We're gonna add some salt and pepper to taste, however much you want. All right, so now we're gonna create a little well in the middle of our fried vegetables. So you can see I'm creating sort of a blank space. And to that, I'm going to add that fried rice. We're gonna let it sit there for a few seconds, and then we're just going to incorporate the fried veggies into that huge pile of fried rice. And already you can tell from just the colors alone how much texture, flavor, and antioxidants we are achieving in this amazing tofu fried rice. So of all the things that we did add, one of the things that we didn't was a sauce. I did not add any soy sauce to this recipe because the name of the game, again, is removing moisture. Instead of soy sauce, I simply seasoned this rice with a little bit of salt, pepper. You can see I added some toasted sesame seeds and a drizzle of sesame oil. OMG, how good does this rice look? It may sound a little simple, it may sound not fancy enough, but trust me, when the flavor hits your tongue, you're gonna be grateful that you made this dish.
How do you think we did? I think we did a lot better.
I know we did a lot better.
So much texture and flavor.
Anyways, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons below and leave a comment on what you'd love to see next. Until then, I hope you have a wonderful and lovely day. Bye.